Okay, I think we're good. Okay, so today is geez, what is today? November 14th of 2024, and gonna go over yesterday's price action as well as the outlook for today. So yesterday was kind of interesting, and I think it threw everybody in for a loop. But that's the name of the game. So yesterday I had expected price to draw higher, but what I did not expect was I did not expect sell side to get swept first, and that's my fault because buy side was swept here first. So that is completely my fault. I totally did not see that coming. Uh, Again, that's a lapse in my judgment as far as technical analysis because like I said, buy side was swept here. Buy side was swept, and the rule is once buy side gets swept, it's either gonna rebalance into an imbalance, which could have been this area here, or look for more liquidity. That's exactly what happened yesterday. So definitely my fault on that part. It actually came down to sweep buy side, and once I noticed that price was actually displaying lower, I did catch a trade here um, for a short. And the reason why I caught it was because we had a tiny double purge before it actually went down to sweep those lows. And that was this right here. Yep, right here. Okay, so these are actually my favorite types of setups where price sweeps sell side right here, then sweeps buy side right here, and then draws into these lows down here. But here, as you can see here, it did not sweep. Here it actually offered SMT right in these areas. And once I realized that price was not going to draw towards these highs, I actually got short right here and covered into these lows. So I made back those initial losses that I had, which were very impulsive and not ill-advised. So again, I'm glad that I caught that, and I realized what the market conditions were. So coming back into the 11 o'clock macro, the 11 o'clock macro seemed more promising because I had expected price to sweep these lows since this right here was a relative equal lows. And the reason I like this trade was because we had SMT on the 15-minute, which was where we swept not this high, where we swept this high here. Actually, no, it wasn't there. Yep, it was this right here. So we swept this high over here, but here we did not. So SMT on the 15-minute, SMT on the 15-minute, we had relative equal lows down here. And so I jumped in right here during the 11 o'clock macro. And as you can see, I got stopped out on the rest. I did add actually right here when we took another high out, but we still did not. Yeah, actually this one right here, right? I think it was this one. Was it? Yeah, this one right here. So I did. No, wasn't there. Yeah, it was SMT between this high and this high. Yeah, it was actually these highs up here. Right, it was these highs up here. And so I actually added two more, and I probably should have covered two here, but I didn't. Instead, I got stopped out at this high right here once price drew towards those highs because I noticed that there was some sort of there was a tiny little entry right here, as you can see, um, for an institutional order for entry drill for price to draw higher. What I should have noticed was the 5-minute order block was right here. Could have gotten in here at 50% to go up to these highs up here. But again, not the greatest of environments. So all in all, I did end the day break even. I did take another trade, but this was more paper trade. Once I realized that price was going to rebalance into at least 50% of the range, we had a breaker here. Price, yeah, right here actually. It wasn't. It was during the 1400 macro, which was right here, 1500 macro. Uh, right. So price did draw into these areas here, displace lower, And at the same time, ES was doing this as well. We had a mitigation block here, stop run here. So you could have gotten short right here. Same thing here, breaker block, gap here. And so I actually did get short right here at the 1500 macro. Got short and covered into 50% of the range. So paper trade, but nevertheless, it was a pretty good setup there. And then actually the close was actually even better because we actually retraced back into 50% of the range. You had a 15-minute macro, the breaker. You also had a double purge, which was we purged the sell side first, then we purged buy side, both sides. Now, when price does this and fails to purge fails to break these new lows, when you notice a double purge, that means the price is likely going to go back up, take out another high, take out the high, and then draw lower. So three drive pattern as well. So pretty good model here, and I noticed it, but again, I was just not comfortable taking these trades. Very interesting day because I think everybody expected the price to continue to draw higher after we took out enough sell side on the daily, which was yeah, which was right here. Yeah, we had been taking sell side the previous day, so we had expected price to draw higher. Not we. When I think the majority of traders probably expected price to draw higher, but obviously it did not. So again, break even day for the most part. I think it was like minus $38, but that's fine. I think it was minus 38 minus the fees, and I think in total it was about I think maybe six trades or maybe five trades altogether, which is way too much for me. I usually like taking maybe no more than one to three trades. If I have a loss, then I'll just stick to two trades at the maximum. Maximum two back-to-back losses. I cut it. So today is interesting actually because again I'm still expecting price draw higher. I still want to see price draw higher into these highs up here, relatively equal, but and we still have an imbalance here that price is holding up. As you can see, price is still closing above this daily imbalance here. So I am bullish. Order flow, long-term order flow remains bullish. However, I like the 4 hour. The 4 hour, we have SMT at the highs, and we haven't swept this low yet. So I am expecting price to sweep these lows before they draw higher. As you can see, same thing here. On the 4 hour here, price already swept this low. So buy side liquidity was already swept. And now I'm seeking for sell side. We have relative equal lows here. So I want to see what price does down here after it sweeps these lows. These two are relatively equal as well, but I just put it on there just in case this one decides to not sweep these lows, but this one does. Okay, so on the 60-minute, we swept buy side in the form of these highs here. I would like to see this high get swept on the 15-minute. Same thing here. We swept buy side, which is right up here, but I would like to see the 15-minute sweep this high, not these areas, because this right here to me is displaced. So I wouldn't like to see price sweep these highs just yet, at least not until these lows get swept. So again, we have buy side swept with this area here. Then I want to see sell side get swept on the 4 hour. Then once that 4 hour gets swept, I want to see draw a price continue to draw higher. We are kind of in a consolidation phase, so I do want to see that manipulation phase of of price action. But again, the manipulation, I want to see it to the downside. And again, on the 4 hour, we already have it. We already have that sweep of the highs. Here, we did not get that sweep, so I do want to see price draw lower. On the 15-minute, we swept buy side, we swept sell side. So I do kind of want to see one more time. I want to see it get swept one more time. We are within this imbalance here. As you can see here, price closed below consequent encroachment and drew lower. And here we're doing that as well. So again, I am watching this area here. We also have a order block here. So I want to see price hold below this area and then go down to sweep sell side. But again, I do want to see price test that area one more time to see if it wants to draw higher from there. If it doesn't, then we'll see what it wants to do afterwards. Let's see here. Right, so we'll see what it wants to do afterwards. I do like the 15-minute because the 15-minute is giving me an order block here, order block here, and actually not this one, not so much, but here you have order block, propulsion block right here with imbalances. So what price does if it draws towards these lows. But again, I do want to see price sweep buy side one more time. That way the sell side sweep is first, and then this becomes buy side liquidity swept. Because if if that happens, then this is my type of model. 1 second. Right. So this is the type of model I'm looking for. If I'm looking to get short, I want to see sell side get swept after this. I want to see sell side sweep a swing low, then come up to sweep a swing high, and then we draw lower. And then on the other pair, I don't want maybe this high. I don't want it to get swept. That would give me some sort of SMT confirmation, and then I'll be safe to take the short there. That's also that also gives me indication to start looking for signs of a breaker or a mitigation block of sorts. Um, to see where it wants to draw towards. Because right now, from what I can see, is sell side was just swept. So again, I want to see buy side get swept one more time, knock both participants out of the market, and then we get that draw lower. But if for some reason price draws higher, then here on the 15-minute, price already swept buy side, and then it swept sell side, and then now I want to see if it draws higher. And if it draws higher and continues to draw towards these highs, then that means that this was a buy model. But if it draws up to this area, once again rejects, and then draws lower, then that would be pretty cool as well. And then maybe this will become the propulsion block on an up close 15-minute candle. This to me is the propulsion block here. I want to see price draw higher. As you can see, after the propulsion block, price came back up to retest this area. So I want to see how price reacts here. Let's see here 1 second. All right. So yeah, I want to see how price reacts here. Hopefully we get that draw lower, and so I could get long down in these areas down here. And since it's a 4-hour liquidity sweep, I will be looking for a reversal pattern on the 15-minute, because as you can, as you know, uh, that's how they coalesce with one another. It's the 4. If you're looking at the 4, it's the 15, and then the 15 into the 1. If you're looking at the 1 hour, it's the 1 hour into the 5, or the daily into the 1 hour into the 5. The weekly is the weekly, the 4 hour, and to the 15. Um, let's see here. Let's connect to data and see where we're tracking right now. And I'm not trading during the macro. I'm just going to follow price. Oh, crap. Drop my phone. All right. All right. So we did get that draw lower. We are seeing price draw lower, but if for some reason we don't come up to take out buy side, it's because we already have the SMT up here. So I will be watching here, but not now. I would like to see if we are to draw lower, then I would like to see a double purge down here, either on the 5 or the 1 minute. Because if we do see that double purge, then that's why this becomes the breaker for me. Right? This along with this right here. So we do have that. This wick right here is also technically a gap. Um, but again, I want to see what price does in this area here. Again, if this becomes the SMT, because again, we already have SMT at the highs. SMT, so first stage SMT on the 4 hour, second stage SMT on the 15-minute. And then we do have a stop run. I don't see a stop run here. Don't tell me I'm already missing it. Oh no. All right. And then this is the breaker for the mitigation block. So we'll see. We'll see what it wants to do. I would like it. I would like for this gap to remain open, because if it remains open, then that gives this that makes this a breaker breakaway gap. And breakaway gaps, I like it because they hint at at strength towards wherever the market is headed to. So yeah, and if price just continues to draw lower, then I probably will end up using the breaker block down here on the 1 hour. But if that happens, then maybe we don't get a setup until the 10 o'clock, the 11 o'clock macro, which would be right here. As you can see here, this right here, we do have a stop run in between. So I will be watching this area here to see if it wants to just continue rejecting that area as well. We do. This right here is kind of displacement, but again, we have those relative equal highs up there, so I'm not gonna trust that. Um, and again, yesterday, and the reason I say I'm gonna trust my analysis, because yesterday, even though I was wrong on my initial where's on my initial entry long, because I had expected price to hold where was it? This area here, but it didn't, obviously, and it came down to sweep these lows down here. Um, but my bias was correct, and that I knew the price would come up here to sweep these highs up here. So bias was correct, timing of entry was wrong. And then once I was able to get my gauge, once I was able to gauge the market and where it was headed to, I was able to catch a few good trades. Uh, and I mean, I still had a day break even, but that's because I had some ill-advised trades for the 0930 open, which will not happen today. I'm not going to be trading the 0930 open. Instead, I'm just going to watch. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect from data as soon as 0930 opens, so that I can possibly see what happens. But again, um, I do want to see price draw lower. Let's take a look at the 15-minute once again, because we are showing a gap here on the 1 hour. And I do like the uh, the um, the swing highs and swing lows here. As you can see here, we just swept. We're about to sweep sell side here in the 5-minute. Where's the 5-minute? No, this is the. Yeah, we're about to sweep sell side, and if we don't sweep here, then that's actually pretty good too. But what I want to see is I want to see sell side get swept, and then I want to see buy side get swept. This is 50% of the range. It lines up with this breaker block here. Same thing here. We have a mitigation block, order block here. I want to see these. I want to see this remain open. If it is, then then this is a breakaway gap. But still have to wait until the macro to tell me what it wants to do. Let's sit down. I need to reheat my coffee. Let me get some water. So the market opens in about 7 minutes. Yep, 7 minutes. Oh crap, it's probably boiling at this point. Okay, so we just swept sell side on ES. So if price comes, ideally what I would want to see kind of like a step up. I want to see steps kind of like this, back and forth, back and forth. Get one final thrust, and then we get to draw lower. But if we immediately displace lower, then I'll look to see what it wants to do down here. This is Asia low. We already did sweep Asia high, and we already swept New York high. So yeah, again, there is SMT at these highs up here. But I just don't see any indication that price is immediately going to draw lower, at least not in the 5 minute. We kind of already tested this on the during the 10 o'clock macro, the 9 o'clock macro, sorry. It was, yep, 850 right here. This is 850, so 850, 850 to 855 is this candle right here. Pretty good macro. So price is drawing lower. I think what's going to happen is because if this was the play, then this high should not be broken, or at least this high here. Let me rephrase that. If this was the play, then price should hold below this area here. And everybody that's short up here probably has a stop up here, or maybe even here as a breakaway gap, because that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing this as the breakaway gap, and everybody that's short here would not want to see price come back up here at this breaker. Because as you can see here, Asia session generated buy side liquidity, because sellers were in charge. And then what did it do? London took out all of that engineered buy side, and is now then consolidated, and now it's drawing lower. Oh, and this is that buy side liquidity I was talking about, where that price took out. Here it also took it out, but uh, I was kind of wanting to see this right here get swept, but it does make sense as to why it didn't, because eventually I do want to see all of these highs get taken out. Pretty smooth here. Let's take a look at the 1 minute. See how it works. Yep, here we go. So yeah, sell side was just taking them both. Relative equal highs here. They're both in sync. Because the risk reward, whichever one of these two been in, because that would be a 4-point stop, almost a 5 actually. 15-point stop. Yeah, it's definitely worth the risk. 32. But unless we're above 50%. So if we're in this area here, one of favorites. So whichever one of the pairs fails to break above this or fails to even get up here, because I know one of them will. Let's take a look at the YN. What's YM doing? All right, so YM. So yeah, there's SMT between YMES and NQ, where ES took out the high, but NQ did not. ES being this high, NQ did not. So we're about to get in here. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot here, just because I like this, and I like the model, because I've seen this play around, play enough work. I've seen this draw itself so many times, that this ends up paying pretty quick. There we go. Come on, just a little more NQ. Just a little more. Okay, so I'm in with one contract there. I want to see more here. All right, so I'm in there, and if I get stopped, then that's fine. That's 15 points. Because if it does sweep this high, then that means we're coming up to sweep. We're coming up to set up that sell model like I expected to, where we sweep sell side first on the 15-minute, then we come up to sweep buy side. Technically speaking, my stop should be up here, but again, I'm not looking to put too much capital today, or lose, especially at the 9:30. So I'd rather just keep my stop here and then leave it until the 10 o'clock macro. The next candle, I don't want price to come back up here. If I do get a sense that maybe price wants to start closing above these areas here, then I'll just take it off. See, like I said, like I mentioned, one of them will penetrate, which is this right here, and one of them will get reaction. Again, we took out sell side. Now we took out buy side here. So now I want to see that draw lower. My first target will be 17.50. Let's get it ready. Right here. And then I'll watch down here to see what it wants to do. This right here, like I said, this is the order block of the hourly candle. But since my drawn liquidity are lows, that's where I'm aiming to take my profit at. I'm not going to move my stop until these areas are met. Let me actually leave my 76 point. Forgot to put my stops. 76 point. What was it? 76.50. No. Jeez. 76.75. Yeah, see how it's kind of just sticking around. I don't want to see that. But I'm committed to my stop. All right, so I'm committed to my stop, and if I get stopped, then that too, because my entry is right up here, and again, that gives me about a 15 point stop. But again, if I see price start to close above here, uh, like this candle, if it closes above here, then I'm out, and then I'll just disconnect and come back during the 10 o'clock macro. Looks like we're gonna come up to sweep these highs. We'll see. I'm still watching constant encroachment. If we get a close up here, the next candle, if like price closes up here somewhere, the next candle, what I want to see is without sweeping this high, obviously, I want to see an immediate rejection, kind of like this one right here. Yeah, I don't like how that drew into this. So now what I want to see is I want to see this low get violated. I don't like these types of signatures because this could hint at a possible entry as an institutional order for entry drill with draw higher. But again, if this one closes above this line here, then the next one I want to see an immediate rejection. I don't want to see it stand around anymore. Three more seconds. All right, there we go. So now I want to see that rejection. Immediate rejection. So it closed above again. And I don't mean within the next 3 seconds. I mean, I want the candle to close down here. There is a void here. All right. All right, so we close that void. I just noticed this void. Should have realized that. So now I want to see that rejection after this void closed. Is there any other voids around? Nope, this one failed. Okay, so now I think we're good. So now the next one should start drawing lower. As you can see here, we're already drawing lower. Good. Because then if price does draw lower and we get a close down here, this becomes a breaker block on the 1 minute. Right here. So now I want price to close below these areas here. This becomes an inversion if it does close below. I was actually thinking about adding up here, um, and keeping my stop up here, but that's fine. Okay. Okay, so now as you can see, inversion. So now I want to see price reject this area. – 30 more seconds, 10 more minutes until the macro. Time is aligning, in my opinion, because if we get that displacement lower, then and price closes maybe down here into the 10 o'clock macro, then you use this breaker here as as an entry model at 50%. If price just displaces down through here, you use this whole area here on the 5-minute as the breaker model, which is this right here. So let me actually just stick to the 5-minute now, because now this would become the breaker. I mean, an inversion if price closes below it. Ah, this is just beautiful. Here we go. Again, my first target is down here. Do I have my sell orders ready? I mean, my buy orders ready? 17. Yep, I have one of them ready. Once price takes this low, I'll bring my stop down to this high up here, and that'll be 50 points. Yep, 50 points. More like 45 points, because my entry is 60. What is it? 60, 62.50. So right here, and I have 3 contracts. All right, we're about to take that low. I hate it when it flirts with you. Yep, there you go. So I just took out my first contract there. Let me get the second one ready. 90. Right there. ES just swept that low. Yeah, don't you do this to me. Let me bring my stop though. The exit should now be 70. I'm gonna bring my stop down to 70 to 70. All right, so my stop is right here at 70. Um, if we close down here on the 5-minute, then again this becomes a breaker block here. And if price just starts closing above here, then that means we're probably going to come up to take these highs up here, which isn't out of the realm of possibility, but still I want to see these lows get taken first. Which one's this? we're about to take that low. That'll be 70 points. And we're just about it. Beautiful. Just took that low. So now the rest of my contract, or my final profit, is at 54.75. Let me change that around. 54 right there. All right, so now my stop is set. Stop on this one is break even now. So yeah, that's it. Pretty good day today. Really quick, really easy. But down here, I'm not gonna look to get long. At least not until maybe the 11 o'clock macro, because this right here was the entry. I don't. If we don't sweep this low going into the 10 o'clock macro, and we consolidate, then maybe the 10 o'clock macro offers us some sort of entry up here. And now that price is below here, at 10 o'clock, I want to see price close below this area here, because on ES, we still haven't swept. Actually, we already did, my bad. So they're both in sync. Um, these lows, this low and this low here, as you can see, ES and NQ are both the same, but on YM it's different. YM already swept those lows, I think. I know I drew that. Actually, no, it's not that. It's like this, where ES and YM swept this low, but YM only came up to this area here and then drew higher. So that was the SMT I was looking at. So um, YM is also about to sweep London low, and it still hasn't. So there is SMT between those three right now. Um, I don't think YM sweeps Tuesday low. Wait, that was today's Thursday, Wednesday low. I mean, it looks like we're gonna come down here. I'm glad I took that 9:30 trade. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Looks like my target is gonna hit. It's gonna be about 100 points. No, about 120. Yeah, about 120 points. This looks more like a manipulation, like to me, that I'd want to see. In a manipulation, like what you want to see is you want to see an immediate liquidation of all of those stops. Once that happens, that's when the reversal likely takes place. Let's take a look at this 5 minute. I mean, yeah, let's take a look at this 5 minute here, um, because this could offer another entry. I'm not going to take it, but I like following price action. As you can see here, this is what I'm looking at on the 1 minute. If price is going to come down, I want it to hold here. Maybe take out sell side first, because on ES we already did by doing this and doing this. So if price is going to come to take out the low down here, then it should respect this order block by not closing above 50% of the range. Displace lower into a gap, and then maybe that could offer a second entry if you weren't able to get up here. Okay, so right here, this is what I'm talking about. So now I don't want to see price close, or yeah, I don't want to see price come back up here. I want to see that displacement lower with a gap possibly, because then this becomes an order block. This becomes a propulsion block for the yep, down here. And I like what NQ is doing also, because NQ, as you can see, is not, is kind of drawing like a what was that called, a wall of resistance here. Okay, so we just swept that, that's fine, but still, sell side swept, buy side swept into this breaker here, and it's about to be, okay, so this, yeah, I don't like that. This looks like displacement to me. I do not want to see that. But then again, that breaker here, yep, right there. Okay, so I don't want to see price come back up. This breaker is what I'm paying attention to. And if price just continues drawing higher, then I'll take off my my last contract, because that looks like displacement. I don't like to see displacement on that. Darn. We did sweep that high. Yeah, I don't like that at all. I'm getting ready to take it off. I'm watching to see how it reacts here. This right here, actually, no, not that. Yeah, this is nothing. I thought for some reason this right here was a down close candle, because then this becomes the order block here. So I am watching to see how price delivers here. If we leave this open and price immediately draws higher, then I'm going to go ahead and close it. If it leaves this gap and price comes down here and holds here and draws higher, then I'll take it off. So yeah, I'm watching this very carefully. This breaker block here, as you can see here, still kind of took a little bit of that. Actually, it didn't. 1 hour right there, right there. So again, I don't want price to leave this opened. I want price to come down and completely engulf or close this gap. All right, I like that. Here we go. Okay. So yeah, this could have been a second entry, but I'm not going to get in there, obviously, because I'm already in one, and I'd rather just leave it. You know what? It closed below. I'm just waiting for it to come back up here one more time. If it doesn't, then I missed it. Here we go. Because this right here, that's what I'm looking for, 88.50. So I have, okay, so I have a sell order at 88.50. I don't want it to sweep this low just yet. Damn, I think it was this right here. It's a little too slow. right there. So my stop becomes this now. There we go. Okay, so I'm in. 21.50, which is right below what the average is actually now. Pretty cool. All right, perfect. This is a balanced price range. Where is my balance? My average, my balance now actually. My average, since I added one, my average is now right above it. So it's at 26.25 right here. So whether I get stopped out on this trade or not, or on this addition or not, I'll still end my last contract break even. Wow, as you can see here, it literally drew into that and is now rejecting that. $21.50. So my stop is right at 22. Right, 2 ticks above that. Take this off. I don't want to see price close above here. I like the drawdown is displacement, and these candles are kind of like in a stairway type of form. So it's not, yeah, it's not necessarily messing with me or anything. I don't want to see displacement. It is holding above this order block though. That's the one thing I don't like. So that's fine. I'll just leave my stop here. I just don't want to see that it is rebalancing this whole imbalance here. Uh, you're getting pretty good wicks above here. When it finally decides to make that break, if it draws down to these lows, uh, it's going to be pretty sudden, because this right here is first stage and this would be second stage. Second stage distribution is always the most intense. I like how this candle here touched that and touched that. And so if it's going to break down, it should immediately start seeking the lows. So whatever next, whenever the next leg is ready, it's going to be quick and very aggressive. Let me get my orders ready actually. Actually, in my last order, my last buy order. Where was it again? 54.75. Okay, so either I get stopped or I uh, I get that second objective, or third actually. Still looks good, and I still like this right here. Again, all my model took out buy side here, but first we took out sell side. Same thing here. Took out sell side, then buy side. And now we're it looks like we might get that draw. Okay, so the big candles are incoming. So now, as you can see here, we built some sell side and buy side. But I want to see those big candles. I don't want to see these types of candles. But it's fine. It looks like it's picking up speed. We're leaving a tiny void there. The big candles should be incoming now. I don't want to see I don't want to see price lounge around anymore. The 1 hour opened. So both candles, both 1 hour candles uh, closed below this area here. So this is what I was looking at. As you can see, closed down here. So now those big candles should be incoming. The final leg. I have a feeling we're actually gonna go to take out this low down here, but I'm not willing to stay here for all of that. Okay, there's a tiny little sell side here, buy side here. Either or, though, I'm just not interested in holding anymore if those big candles don't come in. So I'm gonna stick to my original stop because this is still that I added here as you can see. So my original stop is now up here. So I shouldn't move my stop until the objective gets taken, which would be here. I just don't like how it's consolidating. But there's just um, no reason, in my opinion, as to why it should not draw lower. So we'll see. When those big candles come, they will. So I'm just going to leave that there. And we have about 7 minutes until the macro is over. The mistake I did with this trade was not adding was not adding here. As soon as I noticed this void, once I noticed this void, I was just about to, but I became hesitant for like 2 seconds. 2 more minutes. I mean, 30 more seconds. This right here becomes an order block. But I don't want to see price do that anymore. I want to see it close below this area here. Let's take a look at the 15-minute. Yeah, that's right. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually, if my trade works out, wow, I took off the stops on both sides. Let me first put in the stop on the buy side. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my sell order down here on one of them, 54.50. $54.75. Okay, so because this is what I'm thinking. If price is going to continue to displace lower, uh, yeah, if it displaces lower, depending on how it actually closes, um, I'll immediately start looking at this as the order block, because if it does that, and I have a feeling it might go down all the way down to these areas down here, right? Um, yeah, I have a feeling it'll go down to these areas down here. If it does, I'm still watching consequent encroachment of the daily gap, which hasn't been tested yet on NQ. Has it? I think it has actually. No, actually, hasn't. Um, then again, this can be an area of resistance going into the afternoon session. So this will be my last objective. If I had another more contracts, I would leave this as my last objective. But this right here, consequent encroachment, is always a pretty big area um, of resistance or support, whichever way you're trading. I just don't like how um, these candles are forming. I mean the wicks. Let's take a look at the 1 minute, because we did sweep this one. 5 minute here. Well, we took our sell side. We got 3 more minutes. If I don't, if it doesn't work out, then I'll either get stopped out. So this would be the last line of defense. If it doesn't immediately reject, it should not come back up to sweep these highs anymore. Darn. Because again, we just swept sell side here. Yes, though, did though. Yeah, darn, yes, did. Alright, so I'm just going to keep it there. Leave my stop at the original high. Still rejecting this hourly breaker. Probably should have added another one. So same thing it did here where it created this gap and then immediately rejected. I want to see the same thing here now. As you can see, ES did not sweep this high here. SMT. These are 15-minute. This is a 15-minute SMT. Oh, and again, like I set up here, if it closes above consequent encroachment of this gap here, this tiny little gap here, the next candles or the next few candles, I want to see an immediate rejection. And that's what's happening here. Closed above this consequent encroachment. The next candles looks like they're rejecting immediately. So now that we have that double purge, now I want to see the big candles come in. At this point, actually, I'm just going to bring my stop down to 18.25 because yeah, I'm going to bring it down because if that double purge is what I was that's the double purge that I would expect, and if that is in fact the double purge, then that high should be protected. It's a couple points lower, obviously, but any cent I can save, I'll take it. And the macro's over. So now I want to see that immediate rejection. I don't want to be kidding around anymore. Big candles. Come on, show me big candles. There we go. Big candles, come on. People are looking at this right here as the breakup structure. You get a gap right here. There are a lot of people long here. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking to see big candles. I'm looking to see whoever got long here, I'm looking to see those get swept really quick. Here we go. That's what I'm looking for. Big candles. Come on. Come on. Let's take a look at the 15-minute one more time because that's actually not the 15-minute SMT. It's more like the 5-minute. Darn. Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like how it's reacting. Okay, so at least my stop is up here. I'm not looking to be in this trade any more than I have to, because if it hasn't worked out by now, then it's probably likely going to do this or um, this is just all over the place. And again, if this was the double purge I was looking at, then this high should be protected and should no longer be violated, at least until the objective is hit. Once the objective is hit, then of course that's when I'll expect the price to maybe retake those highs up here. All right. Well, the 5 minute is about to close here in a couple of seconds, 30 seconds to be exact. I would like for it to close down here because what I'm noticing now, the previous every candle before it has closed above the last body of the last candle. Just definitely not liking that. Again, this becomes the order block if we get that draw lower. At this point, I'm not really thinking about decisions. Either I get stopped or my objective gets hit. Because, you know, once you're in a trade, you either have to be in it to win it or in it to lose it. So either of the two happens, I'll be okay with whatever happens. So for some reason, I thought this was a 15-minute SMT, but it's only a 5 minute, and I don't like using 5 or 1 minute SMTs, but we'll see. The fact that we're closing still below 50% of this breaker though is telling me something. Like I said earlier, the 1 hour, if you're trading off the 1 hour, then the 5 minute is where you look for your entries. Maybe these are the big incoming candles I was looking for. Yep, big candles. But it just has to break these lows. It's coming, so 2 more minutes. But anyways, I'm gonna call it there with the stream. So again, either or that happens, I'm okay with. Either I get stopped out up here, or I get my profit here. Again, this right here is my profit target, and down here. Um, if price draws into these areas here, then I will take my I will bring my entry down. Actually, I'll leave it here because once this area is hit here, that last contract I entered with should be is basically break even, plus minus maybe a few points. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty good, and it does look like I'm gonna get that last contract. I think that up move with this 5 minute was telling people, was trying to entice people into getting long, and that's what I'm talking about. On this candle, it enticed a lot of traders to get. No, darn! It just literally took all of my contracts out. I thought I had only one here. Let's take a look real quick. Darn. Let me just make sure. Yeah, it took it took all of them out. Shoot. Darn. Yeah, it took all of them out. Ah, freak. Oh man, this sucks. So that might be the. I like how the 5 minute closed. It closed with a huge black body. I mean, down close candle, black body. Yeah. Let's go to the. All right, and as you can see, these are my entries and exits. Entries here. Here's where I wanted to add, but obviously I did not. Covered one into this low here. Covered the other one here. Covered the last couple here. Added here uh, with a stop up here, and did not get stopped. Stuck to my original stops until my first objectives were hit. Again, I did not want to cover all of them here. I wanted to leave one. I wanted to cover one here and then the rest down here. But I could have sworn I did that, but obviously it did not happen. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Very good entry, very good exit for the 10 o'clock macro. I'm not gonna be looking to trade anymore because what I want to see uh, now is I want to see something form on the 15 or 5 minute. I want to see price consolidate, build a swing high, swing low, then see where price sweeps first, what type of PD arrays are drawn, and then I want to participate. I do believe the drawn liquidity now becomes up here because the last whole week, the last 3 days, it's been nothing but sell side and buy side get taken consolidation. This down move to me is the manipulation leg. So now I want to see this low get put in on the 15 minute to try to catch a draw towards these highs up here. But yeah, overall, pretty good day. Very good day. SMT at the lows now between this low and this low here, and this low and this low here. So that is enough. On this again, this is a daily SMT. This is 4 hour SMT. Or actually, no, it's also daily SMT, but it's more noticeable in the 4 hour to me, in my opinion. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you tomorrow.